Have you ever wondered about the history of Japan, the land of the rising sun? It's a story filled with legendary samurai, powerful emperors, and a culture that has captivated the world for centuries. From the serene beauty of cherry blossoms to the bustling streets of Tokyo, Japan's past is a remarkable journey of transformation. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating history of Japan, from its ancient beginnings to its rise as a global superpower. Let's get started. Our story begins long, long ago, in what historians call the Jomon period. Stretching from around 14,000 BCE to 300 BCE. The people of this era were primarily hunter-gatherers, living off the land's abundant resources. They're famous for their unique pottery, some of the oldest in the world, marked with distinctive chord patterns. Imagine small communities living in harmony with nature, developing the very first threads of Japanese culture. Then, around 300 BCE, a massive shift occurred with the start of the Yayoi period. Newcomers brought revolutionary technologies like wet rice cultivation and metalworking. This changed everything. Communities grew into larger villages and a more settled agricultural society began to form, laying the groundwork for the nation of Japan. As we move forward to around 250 CE, we enter the Kofan period. The name comes from the massive keyhole-shaped burial mounds, or kofan, that were built for the ruling elite. These tombs, some larger than the pyramids of Egypt, tell us about the rise of powerful clans and a more centralized political structure. The Yamato clan, in particular, grew in prominence, eventually establishing the imperial line that continues to this day. Following this, the Asuka period from 538 to 710 marked a profound cultural and spiritual transformation. This was when Buddhism arrived from Korea, bringing with it new philosophies, art, and architectural styles. The Japanese court also began to adopt Chinese models of government and writing, creating a sophisticated blend of native traditions and foreign influences that would define Japan for centuries. The year 710 marks the beginning of the Nara period, a time when Japan established its first permanent capital in Nara. Modeled after the Grand Chinese capital of Chang'an, Nara became a vibrant center of culture and religion. Magnificent Buddhist temples, like the famous Tidaji with its giant bronze Buddha statue, were constructed, showcasing the immense power and devotion of the state. But the capital would move again. In 794, the court relocated to Heiankyo, modern-day Kyoto, ushering in the Heian period. This era, lasting nearly 400 years, is often considered Japan's golden age of classical culture. The imperial court was a world of incredible refinement and elegance, where aristocrats pursued poetry, music, and art. It was during this time that one of the world's first novels, The Tale of Genji, was written by a court lady, Murasaki Shikabu, offering a mesmerizing glimpse into the lives and romances of the Heian elite. But while the court was focused on high culture, power in the provinces was shifting. The new class of warriors, the samurai, was on the rise. In 1185, the Kamakura period began when the Minamoto clan defeated their rivals and established the first shogunate military government. For the first time, Japan was ruled by warriors, not aristocrats. The emperor remained a figurehead, but real power was held by the shogun. This system continued into the Muromachi period, under the Ashikaga shogunate. This era, despite its political instability, was a time of great artistic flourishing. Zen Buddhism had a profound influence, inspiring new art forms like No theater, the delicate art of the tea ceremony, and the serene beauty of Zen rock gardens, which you can still visit today. However, the shogunate's control eventually weakened, plunging Japan into a century of turmoil known as the Sengoku period, or the Age of Warring States. From 1467 to 1603, powerful regional lords, known as daimyo, fought endlessly for control of the country. It was an era of constant warfare, castle sieges, and legendary battles. Out of this chaos, three extraordinary leaders emerged who would ultimately unify Japan. First came Oda Nobunaga, a brilliant but ruthless strategist who conquered nearly a third of the country. After his death, his loyal general, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, continued the campaign, bringing almost all of Japan under his rule. Finally, after Hideyoshi's death, it was Tokugawa Ieyasu who won the decisive Battle of Sekigahara in 1600, establishing a dynasty that would rule for over 250 years. With Tokugawa Ieyasu's victory, Japan entered the Edo period in 1603. The Tokugawa shogunate brought long-awaited peace and stability. The capital was moved to Edo, which we now know as Tokyo. To prevent foreign influence and internal rebellion, the shogunate implemented a strict policy of isolation known as sakoku. For over 2 centuries, Japan was almost completely closed off from the outside world. This peaceful isolation allowed a unique and vibrant urban culture to thrive. This was the age of the floating world, or ukiyo, celebrated in popular entertainment like kabuki theater and colorful ukiyo-e woodblock prints, featuring artists like Hokusai and Hiroshige. It was a time of internal prosperity and cultural refinement, all under the watchful eye of the samurai government. But the world outside was changing rapidly. In 1853, American Commodore Matthew Perry arrived with a fleet of powerful steamships, forcing Japan to open its ports and end its isolation. This event triggered a crisis that led to the downfall of the shogunate. In 1868, a group of ambitious young samurai restored the emperor to power in what is known as the Meiji Restoration. This was not a return to the past, but a radical leap into the future. Under Emperor Meiji, Japan embarked on a breathtaking program of modernization. The government adopted a Western-style constitution, built factories and railways, reformed the education system, and created a modern army and navy. In just a few decades, Japan transformed from a feudal, agrarian society into a powerful, industrialized nation, ready to compete on the world stage. This rapid rise led Japan into a period of imperial expansion in the early 20th century. Seeking resources and international standing, Japan built an empire in Asia, leading to conflicts with China and Russia. This path eventually led the nation into World War II as one of the Axis powers. The war was devastating for Japan and the world. It ended in 1945 after the United States dropped atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, marking one of the most tragic moments in human history. Japan surrendered, and its imperial ambitions came to a shattering end. The country was left in ruins, facing an uncertain future under Allied occupation. What happened next is often called an economic miracle. From the ashes of war, Japan rebuilt itself with incredible speed and determination. With a new constitution that renounced war, the country focused its energy on industry and technology. Companies like Sony, Toyota, and Panasonic became global household names. Japan became a leader in electronics, automobiles, and robotics. The Shinkansen, or bullet train, became a symbol of this new, futuristic Japan. Simultaneously, Japanese culture, from anime and manga to sushi and karate, spread across the globe, capturing the imagination of millions. Modern cities like Tokyo and Osaka became gleaming symbols of innovation and prosperity. From ancient hunter-gatherers to the age of the samurai, from a period of strict isolation to becoming a global technological and cultural leader, Japan's history is an incredible epic of resilience, innovation, and tradition. It's a story of how a nation can repeatedly reinvent itself while holding on to the core of its unique identity. This journey, full of dramatic twists and turns, has shaped the Japan we know and admire today. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the history of Japan. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into our world's amazing history. See you next time.